All right, let's discuss cottagecore GF from my discovery of cottagecore to begin with to just some details behind it so I don't forget as time passes and also so other people who appreciate the song can learn a bit about the history. So I can tell through Discord logs that um I discovered it around July 20th exactly. And I can't find the original link, but I know for sure I was like searching within the Every Noise website, which is somewhere I'm on just for fun a lot, um, to discover new genres just as like a internet nerd about music genres ever since the beginning of my music discovery on sites like Last.fm or Kazaa or Napster. Um, I can't find the link, but it might have been like through Glenn's blog. It's like rather obscure within the Every Noise universe, but basically it was a like cloud of what was very current. So it can like pick up on algorithmically, it can pick up on words like 2020 or like very 0 day trends. And one of the words was cottagecore. So I was like, what is that? Like, is it like hardcore? Is it like easy core? Like, is it like a joke genre? Is it like metalcore? Like, what is it? And you quickly find out that it's a like part of lesbian subculture and originated like on Tumblr as basically a meme. And of course, any meme that's on Know Your Meme is for sure like that's the facts. And also I talked to my mentor about it, and he also said, "Oh yeah, it's a Tumblr meme." But it hadn't reached like its critical point yet. It was just like a collection of like fun images of like aesthetics and like romanticized relationships and um, stuff like that. But there was something that it was just kind of like bubbling beneath the surface, and then once the COVID lockdowns hit, people in cities particularly began to yearn for something different to their current situation, and like things like freedom and living off the land and being free from economic requirements and all that stuff, like the ethos of cottagecore behind the scenes, um, came to a head during the lockdown where people felt that even more strongly. So like Know Your Meme references some like very early TikToks. And I don't know for sure if like these are the seminal early TikToks. But it's a good shout, I bet. It looks correct to me. Um, and then there were like articles about it afterwards, and it is definitely like it is just period is like a lesbian specific subculture, and then it like branched out and became something more broad um within TikTok especially. um but I just like want to uh be clear about its like origins, and that it's like also kind of something special um within that community. um it also like got big on Animal Crossing, where people would like make little cottages. I saw that a lot on Twitter. People sharing their cottagecore cottages and their aesthetics, and Animal Crossing also with the timing with the lockdown represented also like a fun escape as like a different life. It's kind of like the appeal of The Sims or um, Second Life and all that kind of stuff. Um, but back to July 20th when I first learned about what it is. I'm not going to cap and say like, oh, I knew about cottagecore since the beginning. Or I am a lesbian and I am intimately involved in it. No, neither of those things. But I was just like so interested of like how massive it was already then. Like I got this screenshot from Discord that I shared where I searched for cottagecore, and it's like, how is there already multiple playlists about it? how is it so specific with like its imagery? It's like it's got the aesthetic down pat. Um, like I love how it's using like emojis as communication as well, like very indicative of the generation below millennials, like very like Gen Z culture to use that even more so. And it's just like so huge, and it's like also like describing the genre without having to describe it. Like, oh, cottagecore vibes, fairies, mushrooms, cats, deers, like a certain type of color grading. It's like already describing it. It's like, wow, that's amazing. And I had already had a song in the tuck, um, which was originally titled just like "Lo-Fi to Sleep To." Like some working titles are just very functional, and they don't have a title yet. And then just through browsing the internet, I happened upon there's like different stages of sleep, like REM sleep and deep sleep. And this in Korean is basically saying that it says like calm man, slow sleep, but it's kind of like an obscure phrase, obscure like phraseology. It's kind of also like a bit of like a vaporwave aesthetic thing where it's like sort of words, but it's also sort of gibberish. You probably wouldn't use this exact grammar in this way, even though I do take care to like always investigate like the language behind things and try to get like deep context clues within sources I can find, even if it's just purely for my own amusement, which it often is. And that's also like stage 3 is like it's like referencing like there's different stages of sleep, and the fancy text makes it seem like, ooh, it's like more vaporwave. But there's just like a song I had on my hard drive that it didn't have any particular plan, but I thought it would be perfect. Something about it just like it clicked. Like all of this was extremely fast. So basically this song became cottagecore. It already was made, so that was part of the like secret to it, where I could like move extremely fast. Like within internet culture, there's no waiting. Like you not. It's not that you'll like miss your mark in terms of like a business decision. Like, oh, like we got to get this out before the quarter ends. Like it's more that just like it just naturally moves very fast. Like say the explosion of Among Us. You know, people don't know who Corpse is at all, and then when Corpse gets shouted at by PewDiePie, and also his songs are blowing up. You know, it happens so immediately, quickly, and often there's like been work behind the scenes to facilitate that, or just like have stuff ready to go, or you already were making stuff, and now when it happens, you're ready to go. I can't obviously speak authoritatively on like actually blowing up, and that kind of stuff, but so back to like July 20th, like that date where I discovered it. It was like interesting because I have proof that I moved very fast. Like the original art was made on July 20th, 11:17 p.m. from GIMP. So like once you get the idea, boom, go. Like once you're like in that zone, like there's no question, like there's no friction about it. This is just like I did not take this photo, but I process it to give it like a really old feel, like old VHS, kind of getting this very unique type of like distortion and color, like color distortion as well. But I quickly found also when you were like see this, like hopefully this comes out from the stream, that like there's this weird like moire at different resolutions, and like some of it's like very off-putting, like some of it's like a cool bonus effect, but some of it's like somehow like horrible. So it's like I did like address that in other bounces, but then that quickly became aware, in my awareness, where like the fine details, which are really cool, will not come out on any DSP, because I am pretty much the only person to see the 3000 by 3000 pixel version of things, you know. So that's what some of these other bounces are like. Like I exported this word art from like a internet generator, so like you don't have to have Microsoft Word, like that legacy version. You can just like export it. But this also seems it has like this weird like distortion. The best way I can describe it is like a Moire effect, Moire, um, where it's not actually like that, but because of like parallel lines and dots, and also like that maybe the density of the colors, it's doing some weird distortion. And then basically, shouting out the original title, I changed it to Calm Woman instead as opposed to Calm Man. It says like Calm Woman, Slow Sleep, I'm pretty sure. That's also a thing that, I doubt many people, if any, are aware of that because of just the size of the image, and also the album art is not the central like experience of it. But there's a cool little zoom in on the album art that, and also why is that there at all? Is it just like fancy text? Is it just like gibberish? Like, no, like it actually is me shouting out the original title. But the final bounce, like I had to do like some adjustment of the colors, and also like messing with blurring, like blurring the entire thing so that it still maintained the like fine dots, almost like pointillism, but it was not literally the dots, like, so that I hoped that it would like reduce that effect, kind of like how certain GIFs or JPEGs, when it doesn't apply like smoothing or blurring, when it resizes it, it makes it look like horrendous. As opposed to like averaging between colors, it just like picks a color. I thought that was what was going on. I have no idea, like behind the scenes of like this visual distortion. But it didn't. It became rather minor. And any differences I thought just were cool. Like this final bounce, I'm calling like Art 3000 pixels web. That this final bounce like removed most of that like distortion, and like kind of firmed up the overall aesthetic. So that's the art. And then two other things I want to talk about is that like there were no other songs titled cottagecore, or no other third-party sounds on TikTok that used the word cottagecore. So it was like, it obviously was a keyword that was like getting big from various angles, through like sub-communities, through Tumblr, through Twitter, through like multiple interests, whether it's like Animal Crossing or just like young women loving women. But it hadn't like, reached its peak yet, but it was certainly like accelerating. And there were and I could see other cottagecore related content on the platform. Like people dressing up, or people baking, or people just going on like a retreat to nature, just like stuff like that. So it's like, oh, like that'd be cool. Like I just thought like it'd be it and the moment I thought it would just like hit like a cool keyword. Like it just makes sense. Like kind of like how the first person who might have made a Corona freestyle might have hit, Instagram music stories in a certain way, or, you can just kind of like hit the algorithm. Not that you're trying to do that, but you're just there first. And there's a certain benefit to that. So, and it did definitely like catch fire. And I also really appreciate the kind of steady growth of just people using it as like background music. This effect where you just like endlessly scroll just forever, was amazing. And very quickly it was like not something I could see every single video of. Like once it became in my awareness, there was already like over, maybe like around already like 100 by the first time I became even aware that people were using the song. So yeah, but I definitely have watched the most cottagecore GF videos probably out of everyone, because I like to see like people who are just like got 7 likes, where it's like real people, just to kind of like see how they are just showing off their life. And there's like such a variety, whether it's like nature to baking, to like dates in the park are really cute. or like established creators showing off their content, and just using it as like kind of opportunistic background music, which I love. Like, I'm like in a supportive role in that sense. It's not about me, of course. But those like giant ones, when something gets tens of thousands of hearts, I kind of can't. It's very abstract. Like, what does that actually mean? That thousands of people heart it. It's kind of abstract. So I really liked, through playlist analytics, that I can see real people listening to it. And that's something I really value. Like, it's cool to get like a lot of streams, but it can still be impersonal, especially in like the social media era. Right? Like, a majority of your playlist plays are usually at like the first 5 or first 10 playlists, whether that's like a huge third-party playlist or a Spotify official. You can see like this drop off where like one playlist, Lo-Fi Sleep, there's the sleep angle, from like the original title, has like the majority of the streams, 6.2 thousand out of 13,000 on Spotify only. And then like it drops off. But the other playlists that I'll show you in a bit have like that really nice personal touch, which I really appreciate, and which is really like also what cottagecore is about. So once you get past the sad lo-fi hip-hop, cozy beats, chill hop anime, chill forest, underground lo-fi hip-hop, you start to get to like real people, if you will. Cottagecore with the emojis, snug lo-fi, soaring, cottagecore, Korean text, cottagecore. I also love when like I'm one of the first people to be added to the playlist because I can see my art. That's really cool. Like, I kind of like am a defining part of cottagecore in a way, which is like kind of interesting to me. Whether it's like the Foley or like the guitar melody, it almost like helped define what cottagecore is. Like, every single person's contribution to cottagecore makes it up. So if you like make a meme on Tumblr, if you like take some photos on Twitter, if you take a video, if you like show your outfits, everyone is contributing, like, and building it, because this didn't exist, prior to 2018. Sweater Weather, shout out to Riley, 17. Cottagecore, and then, yeah, just, these are less than 10 total plays. So these are just literally just real people's playlists. And these are ones I also love. For Aaron, you can tell he's just like kind of like making a mixtape for your significant other. It's just like people like making a mixtape. And it's like, I love that kind of personal touch. And the amount of people that have Girl in Red and Claro and Hosier and In Love with a Ghost and Fohrenbach is like pretty cool to me. The emojis again, cottagecore, me and Claire in our cottage house. I love like how many there are. Me when I'm a cottagecore lesbian, for Kit, sometimes just like cottagecore, Hannah, Natalie, Michelle. Like, I love this stuff. Like, it's just Kirsten and Natalie, and it's just like, hey, here's a mixtape. Like, that art form and that connection didn't die once we transitioned away from cassettes or CDs. Or gifting someone a 45 RPM, it still exists. So yeah, cottagecore. I love like the fancy text, how it's like almost like merging with vaporwave and the emojis. Jaehee, I don't know if that's Korean. Flyaway Land, Windows Open on a Sunny Day, and yeah, and then some of the last ones are you can just go by recent. You can go for like a recency bias in Spotify to see additional playlists, anyone in their artists page, stuff like this. There's For Aaron again, just little emoji playlists. They're not SEO optimized. It's just a real person like putting an emoji, Emojis. There's like the firework emoji, cottagecore, cottage in the woods, Korean again, calm with like a laundry basket. Jane, yeah, see, like, stuff like this. Like, I love, like, that's what I love the most about it. That I'm playing, like, some small part in someone's, like, personal connection to either, like, a fantasy that they use to kind of self-soothe themselves or their romantic partner. Like, I don't know for sure, but this looks like, again, like a romantic dedication, you know, like whoever these people are. Shout out to Fry and Jane. And yeah, that's cottagecore. Let's see, did I miss any aspect of it? That's pretty much what I want to say. And yeah, cottagecore was just like a cool moment in time. It was not forced at all. It was like the opposite of a plan. And I was just like ready to go. And like once I finished the art, I think I sat on it for a bit. You can see like July 20th, I became aware of cottagecore. By July 21st, oh, it's actually like the same day, 11 p.m. to 12:44 a.m. That's the same session. So I think I sat on it but I quickly uploaded to DistroKid. I uploaded it, and I don't think I waited until the weekend, you know, so sometime I uploaded to DistroKid. So that's the kind of speed that you can act, and then it gets on the platforms extremely quickly after that. So there's kind of almost no impedance anymore to expressing yourself. And yeah, you can see cottagecore GF, because I didn't change the actual audio. The original bounce from March 24 is the version. It still has the like internal tracking number. It's like the 157th beat ever since I started numbering my beats in a certain way. It has like the Korean text, which was like broken and like converted to ASCII. And yeah, that's also part of it where I did not remaster the track. I didn't even like open it up again. Like that's quite the boldness to like, I'm not even gonna edit it in any capacity. Like it already was done, because I do stuff in a lot of stuff I do within one session, and I can kind of trust myself to express whatever I got to express, and also both be creative and fix things technically, so that 80% of the technical stuff is just at a good place. So whether I return to it or not, it satisfies me in terms of like my technical barometer for excellence. So yeah, you can't be like shy, you know, once you like learn of something, you want to take action, you just got to go. And it's not that I feel like that all the time, but like when you do feel like that, you can certainly seize the moment. A lot of us, you know, probably feel like that in just like a proportion of our time, a proportion of our life. So like when you feel that way, just like recognize it and tap into it, and yeah, like use that positive time to do something positive. So yeah, like that's the vibe. There's other articles about it. I like the ones that are kind of old. Or not. I don't like them more, but it's cool when something is like really OG. Like wow, a February article about cottagecore. That's like OG. Yeah, it's kind of predating the Know Your Meme stuff, and it has some like good summary information. Yeah, cottagecore. That's it. That sums it up. Thanks for watching. If you stuck around for this 23-minute deep dive into cottagecore, have a good night.